Welcome to the Healing Pod. I'm Megan, a licensed clinical psychologist.
And I'm Jessica, a licensed clinical social worker, and this is our journey of navigating anxiety as we learn to take up space and create an environment where we feel that we can belong.
Join us together as we learn not just to survive, but to thrive in our anxious brains.
This podcast is intended for educational and informational purposes only. It is not a substitute for professional therapy or medical advice. If you are experiencing any mental health concerns, please seek support from a qualified mental health professional or healthcare provider. Remember, your mental health is important, and seeking personalized professional help is key to your well-being.
And welcome back. It's great to be back here with you guys again. It is just me and Jess, and we are playing with stories that were anonymously posted in one of my therapist support chat groups. It's fun.
My favorite.
I know. It is. I mean, it was such a, I found it and I looked at it, I'm like, yeah, we're gonna dive into this one a little deeper because there's a lot going on here that you don't want to hear about, but it'll be good for people to listen.
And the reality that this is internal dialogue that I feel like quite a few people have.
Yes. Like I like this a lot because it's all one perspective and it really does show the space between what you can objectively say you've seen and what other people might interpret the reality as being versus what your head and your experiences and your need for things to be a certain way interprets the reality as being.
Yeah. Okay. So before we jump into this, are we like adding dialogue as we go? Or do you just want me to read it all the way? We backtrack.
I think
Because it's a lot.
it's a lot. I think we'll just kind of hold on. We'll let you read the whole thing through and stop before the bullet point list, and we'll dialogue each bullet point as we go. Because there's a bullet point list at the end of the story. There's a bullet point list, guys. Oh, it is beautiful train wreck start to finish. All right, buckle up. This is a fun one, guys.
All right, settle in for story time. Okay, so the title. I think I went through an emotional overload. It's been 13 days. I went through an emotional overload reading it. Okay, sorry, sidetracked. It's been 13 days since the event. Had one deep and meaningful 4-year-long relationship in my teens. Since then, I've been single. Tried with numerous girls throughout the years that never went anywhere. Was missing attachment and connection for a long time. Sorry, it's the lack of punctuation is horrendous in this. Okay, so there's this one girl that comes to a pub I work at. I've only seen her once a month or once in 2 months over the last year or so. I was never brave enough to walk up to her, but I was always admiring her beauty silently whenever I was serving her. I was gentle and warm each time and really enjoying her presence. At one point, around half a year ago now, she overheard me showing my guitar recording that I was showing to one of the customers that was a musician. She said, "Is that you playing?" I said, "Yeah, I like to play and record for my own amusement." That's pretty much the only conversation we ever had. 2 sentences. Anything else? I lost myself. Everything else was just whenever she came to buy a drink. Extremely small talk. Absolutely nothing personal ever. So 13 days ago, that's the last time I saw her. She came up to me and said, "So how's your guitar playing going?" That's what she said, but that's not what I felt. I felt, "Hey, I like you. Do you like me too? Please come talk with me." She was mustering up courage all these months with this specific question in her mind. It's like she knew it's gonna do something big. It hit me so deep, I never felt so alive for 2 seconds. I got overflown by emotions. I felt everything. I was extremely happy. I felt the sparks and saw electricity in the air. It felt like my consciousness expanded and all my senses started working at 100% capacity. And then I got very scared because the situation mattered a lot to me. At first I said, "Ooh, you remember that one time I was showing my recording?" She said, "Mm-hmm." And got really, really close to me, leaning in. I got so uncomfortable, then I started to panic. All of the happiness is gone by now, only feeling anxiety. I stared at the floor for 2 to 3 seconds in silence and felt something like a huge emotional shield wall enveloping me. From the top of my body to the bottom, like a defense mechanism, I have no idea. I will never forget how heavy it felt. I looked at her and her facial expression changed to very sad and worried. From that point onwards, I went on a 3 to 4 minute monologue about my guitar, how I wasn't playing lately because I've been on a holiday. Then I played Friends' Sudden String, which I sucked at. We went to a club beforehand and like 10 other different topics, all mashed up. My speech was 100 miles an hour. I was real, raw, authentic, chaotic, and intense. I was overwhelmed. She didn't get a chance to speak or process anything. At one point, I felt so cold and distant, she looked very sad. I don't remember exact details about the speech now. I remember just how it all felt. At the end of it, when I finished pouring drinks for her, she took 2 glasses. At that point, I think her hands were shaking. I offered to help her carry the third glass to her table. We were walking over quietly. I said to everybody, enjoy your drinks, then went back to the bar and had no interaction since. I was standing behind the bar trying to deal with my emotions. She stayed with 2 of her friends for another half an hour before they left. I noticed she spent a lot of time on her phone on a call with somebody. As they were leaving, nobody said anything. I said, thanks for coming, see you, and waved. She looked at me with teary eyes. I don't know if she waved, but I do think she tried to lift her hand. At first, she overwhelmed me with her question and presence. Then I overwhelmed her with my speech for the next few minutes. I think she is the only person I've ever met that saw that side of me. I think that together, we made some kind of emotional resonance. Resonance? I'm bad with that word, sorry.
Resonance.
It wasn't it wasn't just a mutual attraction. Her bravery let her show my intensity. I felt so alive, but it was so painful. I showed her a lot of depth for a casual first proper encounter. She risked being vulnerable. I didn't lash out or act dismissive while I was panicking. I didn't ask her any questions. It felt like she was looking through me, but still couldn't understand me. We both felt something real and strong, but I just got overwhelmed. Even though I panicked and spoke fast, I was fully present. She felt my joy, fear, and care all at once. I was deeply affected by her presence and attention, and she felt it. What I created wasn't just a moment, it left lasting emotional imprint on both of us. The story had a beginning, her walking up to me and asking about the guitar, but it has no ending. We didn't exchange numbers or talked about what happened and why. Nothing's resolved. There's some kind of emotional pull because of it. It feels like the encounter didn't end because it wasn't meant to be fully processed in the moment. At the same time, it feels like full of potential, our energies matched like no other. I have never felt anything close to what this girl made me experience. Both of us left the interaction emotionally charged. Right now, I'm at the point in which I'm trying to let it go. I slept for 3 to 4 hours a night for a while now. I lack will to do anything. My appetite is getting better. I have mood swings all of the time. I'm like 90% sad, 10% happy. Throughout the day, my body is recovering, but it's not take a while. I do want to see her again and just talk about random stuff. Calmly, we don't have to mention any of what happened yet. We can exchange contacts and take it slowly. But I can't count on seeing her again. There's a reason she came up to me with such profound questions. It's like she unlocked something within me at that moment. And at this point, it's not about her anymore. It's about me. Pause before we go into a public point.
Okay. Um, there's a lot. There's a lot. I love this person. But dear Lord, no. No.
We might have some
No.
personality disorders going on here.
We definitely have something going on here. Um, the level of projection throughout is just this beautiful, horrible thing. And I feel for that girl. I feel like she absolutely went up, she took a chance, and she said hi to the cute pub worker. Like she did. That was great. That was not profound. That was like, oh, you mentioned guitar. Are you still like that was taking a chance. That was putting herself out there. That was not profound, life altering questioning. That wasn't even like manic pixie dream girl level of questioning. That was just, hi, you mentioned this thing. I am trying to start a conversation.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
just,
in fear she's going to end up in his trunk.
uh huh.
I feel like that's how all psychological thrillers start.
There's there was the one line in there, and I tried to take a couple notes while you're saying this. I didn't lash out or act dismissive. We are supposed to be proud of this person for this profound happening, and they didn't lash out during it. That means you do it other times. That means you're going to put someone in
And
your trunk.
yeah, yeah, that's what came up for it. Like, how many times do you lash out when somebody
Mm-hmm.
just asks how your guitar playing is going?
And there's definitely a mix of emotional understanding. So this person is simultaneously expressing being like deeply authentic and joyful and also feeling cold and detached at the same time in this interaction. So there's this interplay of emotions that is not, hi, I'm really excited and shoving my foot in my mouth. Let me slow down and allow you to exist. At no point in any part was there anything taken authentically by the girl that talked to him. She was tearful because of how I felt, because she understood me. Because what crystal ball does this one have? Because I would love that version because it's working better than anything I got.
She was probably terrified to drink her drink after that interaction.
I wouldn't have drinking my drink after that interaction. I don't care if I watched you pour it right from the tap and took it right over. No, I am not. Like, she spent how long on the phone after this comment?
She was probably like, "Can you meet me out front? I'm afraid to
Mm-hmm.
go to my."
The friends didn't come up and talk to you. No one in the group said hi to you after. She may have raised her hand like a, that's kind of like the please don't kill me nervous smile here. There's a lot of signs here for this poor person going on that.
Okay, but first of all, can we like go to the point that he was a whole ass red flag? Like that thing was like those giant flags waving outside the White House, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
He was a whole ass red flag.
A rainbow
He was
one.
the Donald Trump of flags.
He's right on there. Yeah.
And she said, red flags, no thank you. I don't like the circus. And she walked away. She was polite. She did not trigger him, even though he triggered himself. And she excused her from that situation. Ladies and gents, take notes. She did not take his number and say we need to continue this interaction outside of.
No. She did not, which was great. And like everything beforehand. So this is an unrequited love story very clearly from the get-go. This is I saw you from afar and I thought you're perfect for me. I know nothing about you, so I am building you up to be perfect for me. One scene a month, not even necessarily an interaction. One, hey, I'll have a Jack and Coke, I'll have a beer, I'll have a self, like one interaction a month, maybe. And this is profound. That is not profound. If you think that is profound, I would like to know what it is you are taking so I can either take some of it or stay far, far away from it. Probably far away from that
Yeah.
one, I'm thinking.
There was a point that I thought, like, oh, there's some insight. Like when he was like, we both kind of leaned in and I got so uncomfortable and I started to panic and I was feeling anxiety.
Yes.
Like almost like, hey, I recognize that I kind of like verbal diarrhea all
Mm-hmm.
over this girl. And how do I backtrack? But no,
Because
no.
we've been we all get there where you get that level of nervousness and you're just like, hi, I just over explained myself for paragraphs long, or I went way too far into my backstory. Now I'm ready for you to run away from me scream. We've all been there. Anxiety makes you do that. Absolutely. The monologuing makes sense. The concern and the red flag is the changing that into a profound experience and completely and utterly ignoring any agency in the other person and making it match what you want it to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's rigid and tearful and not responding and not engaging and no longer leaning in, not making contact with you as she leaves. And you're interpreting all of that as positive signs. If you're interested in someone, you lean in. Maybe there's some like social contact or something. There's the giggle and the hair twirl, and you lean in when you giggle. You don't get rough and pull back, and you don't hide with your friends and stay on the phone and avoid all eye contact. That's not interest.
Yeah.
No. Oh, so I do. I feel for this person. I really do. There's something here. One relationship as a teen that was a few years long. Teen relationships are rough. They tend to be short because you're changing so much at that time. There's so much going on. There's high school, there's friends, you're growing, you're developing, you're changing so much that the person you are is supposed to change. So when you have one very
Yes.
long-standing teen relationship and nothing since then, okay, what is that about?
I
What's
would,
going on?
right. And I would really want to know, like, what is his relationship with his family look
Hmm.
like? What did his childhood look like?
Yes.
What does emotional connection
Hmm.
look like?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, he said, what did he say there? All of his other relationships were missing attachment and connection. Based
That's it.
on the pace of this interaction, all the other relationships probably bailed when they tried to get put on a pedestal and too far too fast. Not that the other person must have been wonderful in the relationships and this guy was all wrong, but they weren't connected. Like, this person's not going to be connected after this interaction. She's not coming back. She's not. I don't think she's.
Also, did those relationships only exist in your own head?
That's a good question. Or were they first dates only and then the person's like, I'm giving you a fake name. No, thank you. Were they online only? And the person just kind of ghosted and pulled back. And it's it can be a very hard thing to be self-aware of because it hurts. Saying I am
Mhm.
the one being rejected, my presence, my approach is not wanted and other people are responding to that negatively hurts a lot. And it can be very hard, especially if these are deep seated personality patterns and attachment issues that you don't know how to change to figure out how do you be true to yourself and be your full, actual, real human person and acknowledge that that's might not be a good fit for most people. You might actually need to tone it down. Being authentic, if it doesn't leave room for the other person, what's the point? The person has to
Right.
exist too. Hey, yeah, this was. Oh, see one knows it. Teary eyed girl. She overwhelmed me with her question. She. The question was, how's your guitar playing going? That was the question that
Yeah.
overwhelmed this person. Not because that was the question, but because of everything they had built up beforehand and everything they made that question. That question is not overwhelming. How is your guitar playing going? Actually, really good. Actually, I haven't played in a while. Oh my gosh, you're interested in guitar too? Tell me why you're interested. The question
So
was the in. Mhm.
have you seen the series You?
I have not. I need
So
to.
this, yes, this is like the ultimate, like what he experiences with like these women that he like sees them in a bookstore. He doesn't even talk to them. And he goes down this rabbit hole of they're in love with him and they're meant to be. And like, that's the love of his life. And like, he has this whole inner dialogue with this person and like creates this whole life in his head with this person before he ever even talks to them. And then he starts stalking them and then like makes them fall in love with him.
This was I fall in love. It
Yeah.
it's hard because this type of setup feels like exactly what you just said, and it's raising the red flags. Like you said, this is the I'm gonna end up in someone's trunk setup. Not because this person is necessarily violent. That one line makes me you're proud of yourself for not lashing out. No, that's basic human decency. You should not be proud for not lashing out. That should be just day to day life. But if you build someone up and you put them on a pedestal that much, and then they don't want to go out with you, they aren't the person you imagined they were, they just don't like you, there tends to be a bigger blow up.
Mhm.
And that's where the lashing out comes in because now you've justified it's their fault because they lied to me. They didn't lie to you, you made it up. That's not a lie. That's on you. And it gets very scary. I am so grateful not to be in the dating pools for these. Like, it gets very scary on the female end because if someone builds you up that much, you know there's going to be a fall and you don't know how crazy is the crazy, how dangerous is the, but I didn't lash out at you this time.
This time.
There's a very silent this time that's very
It's
loud.
almost right. It's almost like the relationships, right? Where it's like, but we had a really good interaction this time, right? Wasn't it great? Didn't you see all the changes?
I think it's second only to, but I didn't hit you.
It may even like be equal to that.
It's like that's your line. You didn't hit me yet. You've done everything else, but you didn't hit me yet, and that's supposed to make me feel better? Great. You haven't
Oh
done this level of shit. You've done this level. No. Because this level of shit is
yeah.
the shit that comes next.
There was I'm very like maybe I'm overloaded because I've had some heavy sessions today, but like the emotional flooding that
Mm-hmm.
was just like mixed with that anxious avoidance.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's and that he's been craving connection like so bad that it finally shows up and his nervous system goes from like 0 to 100 and like it's an instant like dopamine and
Mm-hmm.
oxytocin spike, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like the threat kicks in. Like, wait a
Mm-hmm.
minute,
And that,
she's pulling back. It must be because she's so in love with me.
mhm. And that, like, and that's the part that you can also feel for because it is you're in that deficit. Like I want the connection. I want the relationship. I want to be special. I want to be loved. I want to feel comfortable. I want all of my emotional trauma from childhood to be taken away by this one perfect person loving me. That is never going to happen. There is no
Mhm.
relationship in the world that is going to make up for all of the trauma and shit you have been through as a child. That is your work to do. Find healthy relationships, friendships and romantic and adoptive family or actual family or whatever, but relationships to show you this is how it can be and this is how I can interact. And when you're acting like your trauma relationships, call yourself out on that shit and stop it.
Yes. And I think the big piece too there is like insight. There,
Mm-hmm.
this boy had no insight.
No, this we'll get to the bullet points in a minute. This boy had no insight, and that's insight is hard. Dealing with trauma is hard. Everything about you says, "Oh my gosh, this is going to destroy you if you stay here." And the whole point of facing your trauma and dealing with your trauma is going, "No, it's not. That was then. That was the trauma. There's a reason for all that. That is not now. And here's what is different. And here's what I can do that's different now." And that is hard to do. Like I had one
Yeah.
client just bringing up examples because we were talking about childhood trauma and they brought up, well, like, what if someone almost drowned and they're still terrified of water as an adult? Like, you can do exposure therapy. You can learn to swim. You can do stuff to get over the trauma. You absolutely can. Or you can choose to stay terrified of water and never go near water again, but kind of on you as an adult. There's stuff you can do. It's
Mhm.
hard. We're never going to say it's easy. It's incredibly hard. It
Oh,
is an ongoing active process. You're never really done with it. And there's so much you can do for it. Yeah.
yeah.
Hey.
I think that just the insight and the lack thereof.
Just the projection was it for me. It was like, because
Yeah.
you felt it, you knew like this person has very clearly spent a lot of time with themselves and like these are my emotions and they're so strong. And that poor girl, poor girl, carrying her
Oh
glasses with
God.
shaky hands. Person carries it. They walked over quietly to the table. Nobody said anything. She was on the phone. Stayed. They stayed a half an hour before they left. Who goes to a pub and only stays for half an hour when you have the drink? When you're there with your
Yeah.
friends. That all of those are not good signs.
So I feel like when it goes from the point of we both felt something real and strong, but I
Mm,
just got overwhelmed. Even though I panicked and spoke fast, I was fully present. She felt my joy, fear, and
mm.
care all at once.
Did
How do you know what she felt?
did she? Also, were you projecting any of that as you're sitting there monologuing at this fast pace about guitars that worked and didn't and practice sessions? What joy and care for her is there in that at all? Where does she exist in this conversation? All this is a monologue about you, which, come to think of it, is probably slightly less terrifying than if he had gone on a monologue about her and how perfect she was. But still, she doesn't exist in this monologue. There's nothing about her in this monologue. And there's no care to be felt for her in this monologue. Also, you shouldn't care about her other than as a human being and someone you're interested in. You don't care about her. You don't know her.
Yes. It's there was a whole ass narrative that was created like it was fan fiction. You created
Yes.
fan fiction in your head about this storyline and all of the projection that was happening there
Mm.
because that girl was probably like confused and uncomfortable and was totally caught off guard.
Yeah, and the emotion she was likely experiencing was not the one you wanted. And then the physiological reaction this guy was explaining afterwards, his body is healing. He's decreased sleep, alternate mood states, the decreased appetite, the mood swings. So we got some mood disorders to kind of differential diagnose here.
A little bit,
A
a
little
little
bit.
bit.
Was this some hypomania mania coming through? What is this? What's going on?
How many times has this happened? Has it
Uh-huh.
happened with other women?
Is
Like,
it cyclical? You do want to look
oh
for that.
man,
Yeah. Because
are we ready
there's
to get into our bullet
all
point?
right, all right. So following this lovely astray, this person wrote us a bullet point list of things that they believe were working strongly in their favor about this interaction. Okay. So what is the first bullet point? What do we got?
She approached me first. There was something in me that was ready to be vulnerable for.
Okay. So that actually is true. This woman, they're at a pub, so we're talking adult age here. This woman approached the bartender, the worker, whatever their job is there. She said, "Hey, this is a person that I have some interest in. I would like to try to open a conversation." She absolutely did that. There was a risk there. There was some vulnerability. That takes guts to do. That is impressive. We should absolutely say, yeah, they had interest in you. That is a true point. I will give that person this point. Okay?
Okay.
And then it keeps going.
I didn't react superficially. Very true. I was deeply affected. She felt my intensity mirrored back at her because of her bravery. She was
Hmm.
regretting her life choice and
Yes. You were not superficial, but I don't know if there was much substance. You were deeply affected. Absolutely, you had a panic attack. What you experienced there was a panic attack. It was a rough one. You got through
Mhm.
it. Good job. She felt my intensity mirrored back at her. Mirrored back at her because of her bravery. So we're going off of that. She was brave. She approached me. She felt my intensity
Mhm.
mirrored back at her. Again, I go back to that first question she asked, like, you still playing guitar? Please mirror that intensity back
Profound.
at me. You still playing guitar? Hey Jess, you still drinking coffee? I I mean,
You know,
like I got jump. Shout out to Jumpy Goat. They are amazing. Uh, yeah, yeah. That's what are we mirroring here? What do we think? And there's that projection again. There's that fan fiction. There's that characterization of her. You think she's mirroring this thing back to you. She did not come up to monologue at you. She came up and asked you about your guitar. There's nothing to mirror back, but you are justifying your reaction by assuming she's having the same reaction and you're just giving it back to her. That's scary. That's going to justify a lot of different emotions that you have because you're going to assume that she's having those emotions. I think I like that.
Yeah. Are you ready for this next one?
All right.
I didn't perform, play a role, or try to impress. I was raw and real.
You did not try to impress. Very, very good. You did not try to impress. That is very true. You did not perform or play a role. I will dare say you even did not maintain professional or social decency at that point. Yeah. But
This next one is the most
okay.
authentic and genuine true one.
Okay.
My overwhelm wasn't weakness. It was proof that I care and can connect deeply, immediately. Just the most immediate connection I've ever seen in my life. It makes me rare and memorable, especially for a first real encounter. She will never forget you. You are stories at the bar for life.
You are memorial. You're in a freaking podcast. You are anonymous member of therapy support, memorialized forever, forever in this.
You are infamous.
Man, I wish more people could enjoy the story. That's why I want to get this out there. Yeah, you are rare and memorable. Your overwhelm wasn't weak. Being overwhelmed is not weakness. Panic attack is not weakness. Anxiety is not weakness. Emotions and trauma and everything of our life is not weakness. I'm going to question proof, though. I want to know your scientific method for proof because care with what you don't know her and connect with whom you made absolutely no connection.
Does he even know her name?
No, no. Actually, that comes at the very last one. Does not know her name. But yeah,
Oh.
there is no connection. You took an active LARP role in your fantasy, and she was not a willing participant. She was there, connecting, but memorable. Very memorable.
I'm going to smush these next two together because
Mhm.
I respected boundaries, didn't push for contact or forced resolution. That gave her space to process her own feelings. She left with curiosity and longing. There was no closure.
Again, there was no closure. I will. No, no, there's no closure for you. I'm pretty sure she's closed. I'm pretty sure she's closed. And that's the fun thing about closure. Closure, you do. Someone else doesn't give you closure. You do closure. So I'm pretty sure she's closed. You are not. Respected boundaries. And on again that basic level. Okay, there was no physical contact. There was no purse stealing. There was no identity
Didn't chase her
theft.
out.
Yep, didn't chase her
Yeah.
out. Didn't steal the phone. So some boundaries were absolutely respected. Good on you. Didn't push for
Yes.
that. Very true. Gave her space to process her own feelings. That girl had no space. No space while you were talking. Space afterwards you did give her. You did very good by not hovering, by not going back to the table and continuing talking, by not pushing. You did very, very, very good respecting boundaries that way. Thank you, kind person, for doing that. I will give you that. Because man, she needed some space.
Right. My favorite part is like you say you gave her space to process her own feelings. And then the very next bullet point, you say what she was feeling.
Yeah, that's where you lost it. Because I am giving you a lot of credit for giving her space because you might have been maced if you had not given her space. If she had pepper spray, you would have gotten the pepper spray. Left with curiosity and longing. Curiosity would include follow-up questions. Curiosity would include, hey, I'd like to see you again. Longing would include like, let me wistfully stare at, oh my God. Again, where's our flirty signs here? Where's our smile and sighing? Where's our prolonged eye contact? Where's that you smile, you look away, you look back, we know this stuff. Come on, we're girls. We know this stuff. Um, yeah, she was on the phone
Yeah.
for half an hour and left.
There may have been some curiosity as to what was wrong with him, though.
That is very true. She probably has a lot of curiosity as to what the ever loving hell happened. And I think this person has a lot of curiosity because not necessarily they want to know the girl, but they want to see if she is doing what they're assuming she's doing. So I think this person has a lot of curiosity and longing, and that is pure projection and nothing that they have any sign or evidence of coming from that poor girl.
Yeah.
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 All right, what do we got next?
Okay. Let's see here. I created contrast for the next meeting. If I ever see her again, I will be calm and gentle. That's what made her approach me in the first place. And this time I will approach her. Even if I get flustered again, I will acknowledge it.
My dude, my dude, my dude. You're a dude. My dude. Um, my dude. Even, so
My
let's,
therapist hat is out the window, guys.
my dude. We are going back to that line. I didn't lash out. I didn't lash out. I'm calm sometimes, and sometimes, yeah, that's,
But are we going to lash out the next time because she didn't react how you wanted her to or how you expected her to that you created in your head?
if I show you the abuse cycle and you say, yeah, I do that, no, just no, no, no. The contrast for the next meeting, that's a good assumption that there'll be a next meeting. That poor girl's got to find a new pub, but she was only there once a month, so hopefully there's other options. That's a good assumption. There's concern for you will approach her, and even if flustered, you will acknowledge your own flustering. There is nothing in there about how you're going to acknowledge if you approach her and she is instantly back, if she's back with tears, if she's hiding behind friends, if she's grabbing that can of pepper spray. Have you thought about that possibility? How are you going to process that if that is the approach? Oh, my dude. My dude.
So these next four are all pretty much the same, even though there's 4 bullet points. So we're gonna smush them all together. She got a glimpse of my capacity, emotional bravery, vulnerability, and presence. She knows I'm not shallow, casual, or just another interaction. She saw my courage under emotional pressure. My panic, my emotional shield, and fast talking all let her know I like you too. She sensed I'm serious and ready for real connection, but she doesn't know anything about me or my past.
Yes, yes, very true. Very accurate. She knows, no, she doesn't know if you already have bodies in your trunk. She does not know that. She's got some guesses. She's got some guesses as to what's in your backyard, but she does not know it yet. You are correct. You are correct. Do you perhaps own a hotel that you run with your mother? Just question. Um, she got a glimpse of your capacity. That was not the capacity you wanted to show. Your words per minute, not the capacity to show. Your self-centered conversational tactics, not the capacity you wanted to show. The emotional shield is another interesting one because he described that. You're like this emotional shield drop down. Shield, block, shield, cannot see behind, cannot get through. So connected, shield. Do we get the play on words here that do not match? Blocked yourself with this overwhelming emotion and you think that created capacity for connection. Panic doesn't make for connection. Panic makes for get us away from the line before we're eaten. Yeah.
This guy's a whole ass train wreck.
So much so. So much so. Oh, this poor guy. I feel for you, my dude. I feel for you.
I do. I hope you get the help you need.
I really do. And I also feel for those brief relationships you had after I feel for your 4-year relationship. I wish to connect with this person and see what their high school was like.
May already be one of your clients. You just don't even know it.
Might not know. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I helped her carry her drink over in the middle of chaos.
Yes. Good on you. Good
you
job.
did do that. You did that.
And you did so
It feels like
well, quietly, professionally. Job training kicked in. Good. Good.
it feels like both of us came in that interaction with a lot of emotional investment already. And that one weird and awkward interaction might not be enough to make her pull back entirely. She is very brave.
This is what we term as wishful thinking. You both came into that interaction. You had a novel series. You had the Wheel of Time draft level of backstory that you created for this person, and she had, you like guitar. You came into that with a lot. You have no idea what she came into it because you left no room to figure that out for her at all. And that weird and awkward interaction when she had this much interest in you, I do not think you're going to see this person again. If
My
you
friend, I
do,
think you were the butt of all of her jokes that night.
oh, you're going to be. I think she probably had some panic herself, but I think we're going to hear that from her for a lot longer. Whew. Yeah.
Oh, Lord. Okay. She was touched, not rejected. She left emotional, but not because I hurt her or pushed her away intentionally.
Again,
She left because she was scared.
if your baseline is, but I didn't hurt you, please leave. Please leave. Everyone, go live in a cave. If your baseline is, but I didn't hurt you, please stop. Please, please stop. She was something. She was something. She was not rejected because, as we have discussed, you would not reject this person. You would probably try to graft them onto your skin in order to prove that you are not rejectable and that you have this attachment ability.
It's good thing he doesn't know her name, or he would have a tattoo already.
Yeah. Oh
And then,
gosh.
as Megan was reflecting on, I don't know if I mentioned it, but we don't even know each other's names. Smiley face.
It's the smiley face, really. Isn't it? We're so we don't even know each other's names, but we just have that deep spiritual bond. Oh gosh. Manic Pixie Dream Girl is such a fun phenomenon. I have to do more actual research on like where it actually popped up with, but it's just this impossibly perfect, not like other girl, fun, quirky, save you from your doldrum life and see the deep like they exist for nothing but to be hot, unattainable by everyone else, and somehow make you better and show how amazing you are. That is the only reason a manic pixie dream girl exists. And they're not real. Like actual pixies. They are not real people. They do not
Like any of
exist.
this interaction. It did not happen. Only in your head, my friends.
No. No. And there was only limited comments on this, which honestly surprised me. I thought more people would. I am very concerned. I don't think I copied that one. One person did say in their comment, you should ask her out the next time you see her. And I'm not sure if that person likewise imagines all this stuff or if that person just really wanted someone to get punched in the face. Either way, do not follow that advice. Don't follow that advice. It's dangerous. It's a trap. It's a trap. Do not follow that advice. It is a trap. Mm-hmm. If this
Oh,
girl ever walks in your pub again, you serve her a drink with "Great to see you." That's it. That is it.
yeah. I'm so sorry for my 3-minute TED talk on guitars last time. I hope you enjoyed your drinks. I promise I'm not going to put you in my trunk.
Mm.
And then proceeds to put her in his trunk.
He's put her in his trunk. Yeah, that's yeah. No, that's like, you know, and I do. Like I said, I feel for this guy. This guy clearly has been through stuff. Needs connection. Needs attachment. Needs to do some deep therapeutic work on how another person liking them will not heal all their attachment wounds. It won't.
Yeah. I mean, there's a certain level where we've all created fan fiction in our head about what a person that we were crushing on was thinking in a situation or based on their reactions. I'm hoping this one was dramatized for the purpose of putting it on social media.
I really hope so. And I think it does come down to science in a bit. Like we are going to even the girl in question in this one, she created a fan fiction. She goes, "Oh, this person likes playing guitar. This person works at the pub." So she created enough of her own fan fiction that she wanted to walk up to you and start a conversation with because we need to. It's like, this person seems like they'll be interesting. This person seems like they'll be nice. This person seems like someone that likes dogs more than cats and drinks coffee instead of tea, whatever. And then you go and you start talking to the person, you start gathering more information, and you use that information to edit your fan fiction, to make it reality based. And that's what he didn't do.
Yeah.
You use the feedback of like, oh, I went up and talked to this person and they spit in my face and told me to get away. They must really like it. No, no, run from that person, run. No, I went up and talked to this person about the guitar and they looked at me like I was crazy and said they've never played an instrument in their life. Okay, maybe don't talk to that person either. Do they have a twin
Yeah.
we don't know about? What's going on there? You
Was there even a girl? Was he just like imagining all of it?
maybe that would be for a good movie. Yeah.
Did anybody else see this girl?
So you get a movie with the creepy stalker person, but the only person they stalk are actually their own hallucinations. So they've never actually committed crime, and the cops know all about him. Like, yeah, he just like hides behind a tree at a park and stares at a pigeon. It's really kind of sad. That'd be better than putting a girl in your trunk. Stop doing this.
Side note, I'm telling everybody,
Mhm.
did you see that they linked a 1974 cold case to Bundy
No.
through DNA? Yeah, I think she was like 16 or something like that. Her name was Amy.
Nice. Good for DNA. It's almost like there's a whole lot of villains
Yes.
that we should prosecute because the victims are still out there and saying what happened.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's like a
if you
list
end
or
up in a
something.
trunk, we can find your DNA now.
Yeah, but don't end up in the trunk. Pepper spray. Pepper spray is very useful. If you can't get pepper spray, wasp spray is actually really useful and it shoots a long distance. It's a little harder to carry, but wasp spray if you're out hiking or something. Hmm.
Yeah. If a man overwhelms your sister, surfing to a tree.
And like had that experience where someone just overshares to the point where you're on lockdown and you're just sitting there going, how do I get out of this situation? What do I do? This is not what I signed up for. Please drive me home. Oh shit, you're my ride home. I've had that scenario back when I dated boys. It is not comfortable. Really isn't. Even if they're good people and sweet people, that level of overwhelm fires every single I am not safe and I need to get myself out of here button that we've got. Does not feel welcoming, especially when it has nothing to do with you and you don't have any space to exist.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel for all parties in this. I would have loved to have been a member of her table and I would have glared at him on my way out to protect her. I don't know. But yeah,
Um,
my dude, go back to therapy. Go
I
get some emotional tolerance buttons in there.
yeah, I need therapy after that post.
Ooh, yeah. I wonder who she was on the phone with. I'm sorry she has to find a new pub. My girl, go back to therapy too. I just,
She can never return.
no, no,
Poor thing.
don't go back there. It's a rough show of, yeah, there was no severe harm, there was no lasting harm, but I do wonder what the repercussion in his mind will be if she either never shows up again or if she does actually reject him, because how he interprets this is going to do a lot for his psyche. Does he interpret this as, oh, maybe I had this wrong and I should look over this and think about it and process it with some professional help? Or does he interpret this as, that bitch, I would have given her everything and look at what she did to me instead? Because guess which one we hear most often? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, therapy. Therapy all around. Therapy for everyone. All the bystanders, everyone. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Her friends are scared to go back in there. They're like,
Mm-hmm.
I bet we find a post on another page talking about don't go into this pub.
I would love a post from an observer, like the other guy sitting at the bar that watched this happen. I would love an outsider's perspective on this. I think it would be fascinating just to see what someone who is not built up either character in their mind saw of this.
So if you're a girl and you've been in a pub recently and a man started talking to you about his guitar playing after you asked him one question and may have frightened you a little, please send us an email, send us a Facebook message. I was
Mm,
informed recently that only old people have Facebooks. Send us
I'm old.
a TikTok message.
The kids got you, didn't they?
Um, they did. I would really like to hear your perspective on what you were feeling and how that interaction was for you.
Oh, we will give you as much time and space as you need, sweetie. Please, please feel free. Oh my gosh. Any other thoughts you have? Anything else you want to throw out there on this one?
Nothing left for me.
All right. Well, this has been fun. We do have a couple of wow, there goes my brain. We do have a couple of guest stars coming in because we have partnered with Keith's program that I am completely. We love you and you are wonderful. And Keith's company is in our notes and we have partnered with him. So we are going to have actually a few people. We got some trauma, some somatic therapy, physical trauma stories and stuff we can get through. So we got some back coming up and we will be better at saying your name next time, Keith. I love you. I'm sorry.
The Journey Together PC.
There you go. There you go. Journey Together PC. I'm going to be ridiculous to myself and not let myself edit that out. Maybe. But we have partnered with the Journey Together PC and we'll be having some of their staff on for guests in the coming weeks. So stay tuned for that. Otherwise, glad to have you all here. If you found us once, you can find us again. We are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, literally anywhere you can find your podcasts. You can find us on YouTube because we are old. And if you want to see our faces and a less edited thing where I butcher Keith's wonderful company name because I am a horrible friend. I still love you, but then you can find us there as well. And we have lots of ways to contact us on social media and elsewhere, which I know Jess just ran through, but run through it again, Jess. Where can they find us?
We are on Facebook if you're old, Instagram and TikTok. We have a website at peasinthehealingpod.com. And you can email us at peasinthehealingpod@gmail.com.
Also, my friend just tagged a video for the Healing Pod, and you have to figure out which character in the giant inflatable outfit rolling down the hill am I. Jess is going to go watch that now and wonder about my life choices, but they involved a homemade cake that was hilarious, so I like it.
This is why we're friends.
This is why we're
and
friends.
the cake was glorious.
Glorious. There was pretty sparkly peanut all over it. It was wonderful. If you're nice to me, maybe I'll post a picture.
The comments I got about what kind of shift has your podcast taken after our posts about non-ethical or ethical non-monogamy, not non-ethical.
Like it and you know it. Okay. Okay.
And you were curious and you listened.
So come join us if you want more talk about that. If you want more talk about anything, send us a note. There is a Google link somewhere in our notes and elsewhere. Tell us whatever you want. You got things to talk about. We will have fun. Otherwise, we will be back in a couple of weeks. So take care, everyone. Enjoy the weather, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.